Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode entitled Divine Feminine Oracles with Julie and Sophie. You can find their work, of course, at MAISONJupiter.com here on the web, and also on YouTube at Maison Jupiter. Julie and Sophie, welcome back to the show.
Hello. Hey, Jean-Claude. Hi, Sophie.
Hey, everyone.
You guys almost said that in unison. That's amazing.
Almost.
Well, thank you for coming back to the show. I'm excited. This is our second edition of the Divine Feminine Oracles show. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. We will be taking your questions, but later on, maybe halfway towards the end of the show. But before, we want to start developing the context of the current alignment we're already feeling the shadow for and how we are going to develop here in the next couple of weeks. And that, of course, is the Mercury Retrograde. Julie, where do you want to start to set the conversation here on that particular topic?
Well, maybe let's start about explaining a little bit of the Mercury Retrograde 101 for people that maybe don't know exactly what it is. So Mercury appears to go backwards in the sky. Of course, appears because no planet is really going the other way. It's just the way we see it on Earth. So it happens about 3 or 4 times a year. So it's very normal. But Mercury in astrology, it rules communication. It rules social medias in general, emails, electronics, also small
contract.
Thank you. Contracts. I might forget a few things, so thanks, Sophie. Also, small travels, car travels. So everything that is ruled by Mercury when it goes retrograde, we might see some little hiccups, issues happening. And the why of the situation is that when Mercury goes retrograde, we're supposed to internalize communication, our thoughts, use this time to revisit, review, rethink, reassess. So we're supposed to slow down instead of going super fast in life and having big plans and going very outwardly with our energy. We're supposed to go more inwards and slow down. So it's a time to reassess, to have some time with ourselves to ask the right questions. Are we going on the right path? Are we associating with the right type of people? So we're supposed to do some thinking. So, but the social norm in our everyday lives is that we have to go fast. We have to go through our checklists. So it's not made for Mercury retrograde time. So it's kind of the opposite of what the social life is asking us.
Okay.
So
very good.
Mercury retrograde basically is all the RE in front of the words. So review, rethink, reassess, restructure. So basically that's what the Mercury do's are. And of course, there's a little bit of a list of the Mercury don'ts. So we should not try to control everything because for sure some things are going to come up that we didn't plan for. Do not sign contracts, as Sophie was saying earlier, if possible, because I know some people are going to say, well, I have a new job and I kind of have to. So if you really have to, then you have to think about it maybe even more than usual, because usually Mercury rules our thought process. So usually it's a bit foggy when Mercury is retrograde. So we have to really do the work 3 times rather than just 1 time. So sign contracts, and it includes also verbal contracts. Try to avoid buying electronics also, because Mercury rules electronics. Try to avoid also planning tight schedules or a very busy schedule. Try to leave some time in your schedule for unplanned events, because usually there's a lot of unplanned things during Mercury retrogrades. And also try to avoid overanalyzing, because we're kind of in a fog when Mercury is retrograde.
Okay, very good. And Sophie, would you like to add a little bit to that as well?
Well, yeah. So be flexible. So I think that's the main key in here. Be flexible and just, yeah, don't expect your ex to call you back. Don't expect ex-friends to call you back at that time. If there's unfinished business, I think some people can come back into your life at that moment, because it is something that Mercury retrograde will do. But if things are finished, don't expect that from your past to come back into your present. So yeah.
Yeah, good point. Good point. It can happen, but it's more of an organic thing if it has to. Yeah, good point. And also, I forgot to say, it's not a good time to start new things. It's more of a time to reassess old ideas that you didn't really have the time to put into action. So revisit plans or ideas from the past, or also the same for human connections. If you have like old friends, it's a good time to maybe reinvest time into those connections rather than make new ones.
Okay.
Also, can you just confirm, Julie, because I heard that you can lose more things when it's retrograde. And also, if you want to find something that you have lost before, it is a good time to find it.
Oh, that never really happened to me. Usually I lose stuff during Mercury retrogrades, but yeah, it's a good point, because it's a good time to put in your consciousness old stuff. So yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, very good. And Gypsy Mama says, "Sweet, Julie is wearing a Sailor Moon
Yeah.
sweater." I love it.
Really
And
nice.
Julie, yeah, absolutely cool. And Sophie, I have to comment, you have excellent lighting tonight. It's bringing out the sparkle in your eyes even more than usually. So a big thank you for that beautiful setup for you guys. All right. Julie, let me ask you here too. You just mentioned at the beginning of the show, we are in the pre-shadow of all of this. And of course, the effects of the Mercury retrograde are already happening. I've been feeling it here in my house. I've had some issues with my refrigerator, my plumbing, my heating, all of that already. And we're not even at the critical date yet. So folks, if you're in the chat now and you are already experiencing some of these retrograde symptoms, please put them in the chat here and we'll try to share that with the audience as we go. But Julie, explain the shadow or the pre-shadow here of the retrograde, and then tell them the exact dates and how long we're in this for, so we know what to expect here.
Okay, so the Mercury retrograde, it lasts 3 weeks in total, but there's what we call the pre-shadow phase that's about a week before, and post-shadow, which is about a week afterwards. So the dates are January 14th, so tomorrow, if you're watching the show live. So it starts tomorrow officially, and it ends on February 3rd. But like, you can also put a week after that to make sure that all the influences of Mercury retrograde are done. And I have to mention too that on the day that it goes retrograde, so on the 14th, and on the day that it goes direct on the 3rd, it's even worse. Look, so you can expect Mercury to go really haywire on those specific dates.
Okay, and let's touch a little bit on how the retrograde itself might affect couples and relationships. Not just that, but in context here, of course, of COVID. We've been living this separation now for the last 2 years. Relationships, communications have already been strained between, couples, parents, friends, siblings, and all of that. So maybe try to explain to the audience here what they're going to expect also here in the context of this next coming month, and perhaps how they can deal with that. I'll start with you first, Julie, and I'll ask Sophie maybe to also give us some words of advice there.
Yeah, so Mercury, as I said, it rules communication. So, and this one is kind of a special one because we also have Venus going retrograde at the same time. So Venus plus Mercury retrograde is a very good time to reassess how you communicate with your partner if you have a partner. So communication, it's going to be one of those times where you could say something and the other could be like, oh, this is the way I interpreted it, and it's not the way you wanted it to be understood. So there might be a lot of misunderstandings. It's like the word for Mercury retrograde, misunderstandings. So you have to be extra clear on your communication, extra clear on what you want to convey as to the message. The words that you're choosing are going to be very important also. And also, if you are using written communication, you have to make sure you reread what you are writing before sending it, maybe like 3 times, because it's always a matter of like, oh, I read that, but I thought you meant this, but I thought you meant that. And you can have a lot of conflicts just because of slight misunderstanding. So it's a time to really make sure that your communication is extra clear. Also, with Venus retrograde, it asks you kind of it's a reevaluating season for also all our relationships, and with everything that's going on right now. So we're all in this process, first of all, with the events, the worldly events that are going on in our lives, but especially because it's Venus and Mercury retrograde. So we have to make sure that we don't say stuff that we're going to regret. This Mercury retrograde is kind of special because it's very close to Saturn. Saturn is the planet of isolation. So we could feel isolated. We could feel like communication with others is harder. It's going to be normal, so don't freak out. Really try to be clear in what kind of message you want to convey.
Okay, that's good advice. And Sophie, what are you seeing in some of your personal readings right now? You've been doing a lot of readings even today. This is why this show is at 9 o'clock as opposed to 8 o'clock. What are the testimonials that you're seeing right now, whether in couples or in family issues? Is this coming up already here in terms of the shadow aspect?
Yes, absolutely. It has been showing up because, especially with everything going on in the world right now, relationships are really important. So as you said, Julie, we are isolated, and I think it is in the astrology, but it is something that affects us in our personal life. So I see a lot of people asking about people in their life that they want to reconnect with because they don't speak to each other anymore, and that has been a theme around this period right now.
Wow. Here's a world example right now. Earlier this morning, I tweeted this. Ottawa was reversing course on their mandatory vaccine for Canadian truckers crossing the U.S. border. And now, just a couple of minutes ago, I hear that they've just reversed the reverse course and they're back on with their mandatory. So apparently this was an error of sort. Let me see if I can bring it up here, CTV News. So yeah, again, we're back to the quarantining of these truck drivers. So again, so it's a flip-flop all in the same day. So it's very frustrating.
Yeah, the truck are related to Mercury. Since it's travel, it is Mercury. So it is double Mercury retrograde.
Very good point. Yeah.
Hey, that's a very good point, actually. I didn't see it that way. Wow. Okay. Very cool. Shiny future. Let me see if I can bring up the comment here. Plumbing, electrical, and car issues. Had to put the kids and myself in a hotel for a week. Okay, back home now. Well, you might not be done with it so far, so hopefully things get smoother for you. But yeah, I've had those 3 issues this week myself in my own house, so it's been a little bit of a crazy time. Lakeside Laura says, "Hey, thank you for the warning." Okay, very good. Julie, what do you think? Can we do a short synopsis maybe of each 12 astrological sign on how they are going to be affected here by this Mercury retrograde? And as we do one by one, we'll ask Sophie to chime in maybe with some cards. And then once we're done that, we'll get to the open floor questions from the audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, let's do this. Okay.
And Julie, do you want to share the screen so I can bring up your chart for the audience as well? And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. Let me see if I can bring this one up here. All right.
Okay. So I think...
So let me cue this up also, guys. If you have questions for Julie and Sophie, let me bring up the PayPal tip jar here. And just to be clear, Julie, I need the ascending first and then the sun sign in that order. Is that correct?
Sun sign, yeah.
Okay.
Rising sign is the most important here.
Okay, very good. Smiling Eye says, "Awesome, JC." Okay, we're excited for the show. So there's a lot of excitement here in the show for the question period. Okay, so you guys can start populating that, and a big thank you to everyone who support us through the PayPal tip jar. Okay, communication. There we go. Okay, Julie, let's get started with the first line here.
Okay, so do you want to? Okay, perfect. So this is for Aries and the Aries rising and Aries sun. So most importantly is going to be for Aries rising, because you're going to see Aries is going to be starting your first house. So this Mercury retrograde is going to start in your 11th house. So you can see here, it's very close to this little planet, which is the H, which is Saturn. So Mercury and Saturn together, they put a lot of constraints. They put a lot of regulations. So for everybody, it's going to be a lot of daily, day-to-day issues that we're going to have to fix. And depending on what house is going to be in your chart, you're going to see the most of these, let's say, dysfunctionments that are going to be brought up to the light. So if you're an Aries rising, it's going to be in your 11th house. So just a minute, just getting my notes. So 11th house, connecting with friends is going to be harder because 11th house rules the friends. You're going to have to find maybe new inventive ways to connect, maybe through internet more rather than in-person meetings, because Saturn is putting a strain on your social life here. And with Mercury retrograde, maybe some little bumps in your social life also. Also, it's a good time to reevaluate who's part of your circle, because 11th house is your social circle. So you'll have to really figure out who's aligned with you when this Mercury retrograde period is over. Maybe you're gonna have to like reassess who's gonna be part of your life moving forward, who's going to end. Who's still in alignment with you. And also 11th house is big projects, big goals, big ambitions. So it's a good time to reassess where you're going in your life. What are your goals? What are your big projects that you want to move on with? So for sure, there's going to be obstacles trying to reach those ambitions and goals, but you're going to be asked to maybe plan more for the future rather than take actions on those big plans.
Okay. Okay, very good. And Sophie, what can you tell our Aries
So I
viewers
have
tonight?
2 cards. I have Devotion and I have the Hermit in reverse. So for me, for the Aries, it shows me that the way to connect to the others is to remember to be really sweet with them. Be easy on them, because yes, you are going through some hard time yourself. I think you are reevaluating from the inside your world and what you want in life, but the others are also doing the same thing. So I think this is the lesson right now in this Mercury retrograde for you. You have to remember to be really gentle and to act with love.
Okay, very good. That's great advice. Okay, let me bring up the chart now for what's the next one, Julie?
Taurus.
All right.
So here for Taurus risings or Taurus sun. So it's going to be more exact for Taurus risings. So this Mercury retrograde falls in your 10th house, which is the house of career. So with Saturn that's here in your 10th house, you might find that you have a lot of obstacles to go through to come up with solutions.
Julie, hold on just a second. Sophie, if you're gonna move the cards around, maybe just hit the mute button while you're doing that. It's creating an echo for the audience. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Keep going, Julie. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, you're gonna have probably many obstacles in your career, in your work life. So with Mercury here going retrograde, it's a good time to slow down the work. Try to find new solutions, because you're in your 10th house is in Aquarius, so that means maybe new technologies, find new solutions, think out of the box with the career. So you're gonna have to find new strategies to work around the career issues that Saturn is putting here in your 10th house. Maybe also rethink the whole career, because you have Mercury retrograde, so that's forcing you to go inwards, think about your outer life, so your public image, also your work, your life mission also. So it's a good time to rethink about your direction in those areas. Also, reevaluate your relationship to authority. And also, if you're a boss, maybe rethink how you are a boss. Rethink your strategy towards your employees.
Okay, very good. Siobhan says, hey, the divine feminines are on fire tonight. I agree. Okay. And how about you, Sophie? What can you add here for the Taurus audience?
Okay, so I have confusion, which is the card of Mercury retrograde, so having a fog in mind, and I have here stuck on you, so it's still learning. And for me, this goes well with what you just said, Julie, because I think you need to learn through this confusion how to deal with it and how you will deal with any future confusion. So because it comes by circle, it comes 3 or 4 times a year, I think. You need to learn those skills. So it is right now that you will do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we were talking with a friend recently, it's never a good time in the way we think to really stop what we're doing, especially the career or the work, and try to find new strategies, new solutions. But that's what Mercury retrograde is all about. It's all asking us to slow down. And yes, it might not feel like the best time. Sometimes you have a lot going on in the career world, but it's the right time to do it if you want to build really sound structures for the future.
And so basically the energy of universe is behind you and supporting you in this endeavor. Okay.
It's if you try to do the opposite, then it's going to be against you. If you try to go super fast.
Yeah. Okay. And you don't want to go against universal energy. It usually doesn't end well. No. Okay. Very good.
I tried that before and it didn't work. I can tell you right away.
Doesn't work. Somebody was asking early in the chat, can we just avoid it and go around it? I was like, no.
Sadly.
No, you can align yourself with the energy and the transformation, but avoiding it might be asking for trouble for sure. Okay, exactly. Let's bring up
by the way, most people complain about Mercury retrograde if they don't want to slow down. So if you try to flow with the energy instead of swimming against the current, then it's going to be way better for you.
So basically, the people who needs it complain about it.
Exactly. The people that should slow down but don't slow down. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you heard it, folks. Pay attention to what they're saying. And yes, they are on fire tonight. Okay, Julie, what's the next sign here?
So it's Gemini Rising, or also Gemini Sun. So this means that this Mercury retrograde is going to fall in your 9th house. So this is the house of international. This is the house of higher learning. This is a house of spirituality also. Yeah, I think I said it all. So when Saturn and Mercury retrograde are going to be there in your 9th house, for sure, all that is linked to international is going to be hard for you. So probably it's not a good time for you to travel internationally. Also, if you have international clients, there might be some issues trying to work with those clients. And also with Mercury retrograde, it's going to ask you to find new strategies to connect with internationally based people. Also, 9th house is also your broader perspective on life. So it's a time to open your mind, but since you're not really, it's not a good time for you to travel or do it physically. It's asking you to maybe doing it with books instead of travel, or also alternative learning. So it's a good time to really try to learn something that you always wanted to learn but didn't have the time. So that would be a great time for you if it falls in your 9th house, Geminis. Also for online course, it's also a really good period to try to change your outlook on life, because 9th house is your perspective on life in general. So rather than going physically with the travel to try to broaden your perspective, it's going to be more internalized, psychologic instead of physically.
Okay. Claudette Leblanc is asking, hey, where can I get that interesting map? I'm assuming she's talking about La Carte du Ciel. Julie, let me bring that up on your website so you can explain to the audience here where they can get their own so they can follow along in our next couple of shows here. So explain the personalized birth chart that you have on your website here.
Yeah, so on MaisonJupiter.com, you can have your birth chart done. So what is your birth chart? Basically, it's at the moment of your birth, so time of birth, month, day, and year, and also your place of living to make sure that we have the houses of the birth chart correct. So it's like taking a snapshot of the sky at the precise moment of your birth, and also it means that it's gonna be all your life blueprint in one print, if you wish. So so I make prints like that, custom made with your birth chart information, so you can frame it on your wall, have it somewhere near, and every time that we talk about those astrology alignments, so you can check on your birth chart where it falls for you.
Okay, very good. So that's MaisonJupiter.com, and if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, you'll get another 10% off.
5th of January.
Where am I hearing that? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from?
Mercury
Hold on.
Retrograde.
Let me remove that one. You guys still hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure where this is coming from. Hold on.
Weird.
This is what happens when you're trying to run 3 screens at the same time. Which one is it? Oh my God, it's going to be impossible to find. Oh my God. Where did it go?
So let me shuffle a card while you do that.
Yeah, good idea. So we're for Gemini Rising or Gemini Suns.
Okay.
I think I found it.
Oh yeah?
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Amanda's saying, yeah, retrograde energy, of course, during a live show. Okay, go ahead, Sophie.
Yeah, so new direction for you guys, and then Page of Wands in reverse. So it says that it is a time to think about the next step, something you want to learn, something you want to do. It is not yet the time to act on it, but it is the time to think about what you will like to learn, to do, and it's something new, something that you didn't try before. So this is the advice for Gemini.
Okay, very good. And which one is next, Julie?
Okay, so it's Cancer. I'm just gonna change my my chart. So Cancer.
There you go.
Cancer Rising or Cancer Sun. Okay. So that means that this retrograde is gonna fall in your 8th house. So here. So 8th house is the house of finances, mutual finances. It's also the house of sexuality. It's also the house of big transformations. So with Saturn there, you might find that your energy is a bit low. Parce que trying to speak French here, I don't know why. Mercury retrograde, probably. Mercury. So Saturn is kind of draining your energy, and the 8th house is this Kundalini energy, sexual energy. So with Saturn there, it strains a little bit your energy. But with Mercury retrograde, the good thing is that maybe you're gonna find some good information on either sexual energy, Kundalini awakening, to find your energy back. So it is a good time to learn about those things. Slow down also. It's going to be a good time also to learn how to be more financially independent, because 8th house is your finances, but that are mutual. So put in common with another institution or someone else. And with Saturn there, it's kind of asking you to take control of those. So maybe learn how to be more independent. Also, it's a good time to research hidden knowledge. 8th house is also the house of hidden knowledge, tarot, astrology, all the red pill stuff is 8th house. So it's going to be a really good time to go down on this rabbit hole for you guys if it falls in your 8th house. So good time to really research those hidden informations.
Okay, very good. Libby says, I love it when Janine pops up. Yes, that was her voice. I'm not sure where it came from, but that was
That was
absolutely
Janine.
funny. Yeah. Okay, and Sophie, what do you have for our Cancer audience?
Okay. All right, I have lessons. So for me, let me take a tarot card on it also, but for me, it will speak about therapy. Some things can resurface. So yes, the moon. So it is 8 hours all over the place. So for me, it will speak about deep knowledge, but inside of you. So really knowing what is your emotion at times that were hiding before, really knowing what you're feeling about certain topic that you might not even know that you were feeling this way, and just let it be and understanding it. So reevaluate your feelings about things.
Okay, very good. And Siobhan says, yeah, it's Mercury retrograde. And somebody said, Beverly says, slow down, JC. Wait, am I the one who's supposed to slow down? What's my ascendant in all this?
You're a Libra ascendant.
I'm Libra? Okay, let me know when we get to Libra, and I'll really pay attention here as opposed to playing around with the slides for you guys. But I wanted to bring this up for the audience here. Let me see if I can bring this one up here. So folks, this is the coupon code. It is active for both the birth chart and also for the personal readings with Sophie. That'll give you 10% off of those two bookings. And also may be of interest to you, this Astro Woo Finance that Julie, Janine, who we're just talking about, and myself produced. 33% off right now, and the code for that is SAVE33, and you can find that on the pay-per-view page at BeyondMystic.net. Okay, Julie, let's get back to the chart. What's next on this one here?
So I think we are at the Leo rising, are we?
Yeah, Leo, there you go.
Leo rising or Leo sun. So it's going to fall, this retrograde is going to fall in your 7th house, which is the house of partnerships, relationships. So having Saturn and Mercury retrograde in your 7th house is going to be all about communication issues, fixing communication issues with your partner, your friends, all your relationships is 7th house. So also it's going to be a really important time to reevaluate those relationships. So who you associate with, rather on a professional level, on a personal level, or also on a love level, all those relationships. Also, with this Saturn and Mercury retrograde, maybe you're going to feel like you need to isolate yourself a little bit, maybe just to find out a little bit more what you want, what your needs are in a relationship. Because this Mercury retrograde is going to ask you to really think about what are your values, what do you want moving forward before you really reinvest your time and energy in those kind of relationships. So it's going to be a good time to really find out who deserves your time and energy, because Saturn is also the planet ruling time. So all your most precious resources, you're going to find it's a very important time to really reassess, reevaluate. Where do you want to give those resources? To whom? More exactly.
Okay, very good. And Sophie, what do you have for our Leo audience?
Okay. Party and joy. So there's also avoidance on that card. So for me, it speaks with what you just said, Julie, about who deserves your time and who doesn't. So let me just pick a card. Yes, I have the Death card. So yes, some relationships are meant to finish and some relationships are meant to continue. And you will feel deeply, I think, during this period, which is which. So continue to be in contact with the people around you. And I think in this period, you will feel intuitively inside of you which one are meant to finish and which one are meant to continue for a long time.
And might I add to that, it's probably going to be when Mercury is direct again and Venus is direct again. So at the beginning of February, there you're going to maybe have your answers. Maybe not during the retrograde.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And Travis says, hey, I just had my consultation with Sophie. If you haven't booked yet, I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for that, Travis. And who else said something? Wait, hold on. There was another one in the chat. Oh, Suez? Yeah, I love my reading with Sophie. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really good. Speaking of this, I want to backtrack on what you said, Julie. You talked about Kundalini energy, how maybe it's important now and people are tuning into that energy. Well, if you didn't know, Mr. Cliff High did a video earlier today, and he was talking about Kundalini Rising. It's on the chart now. So I was just like, isn't it interesting how it's bubbling down to the sphere of our consciousness here? So really good. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Or maybe Sophie also in terms of this Kundalini energy rising in humanity? No? Sophie, Julie?
No, it was more specifically for those people having planets in their 8th house because it rules Kundalini. But yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this
yeah,
video.
Cool. Okay, very good. Let's move on here now to the next chart. What do you have for us next?
So it's for Virgo rising.
Virgo. Let me change the little icon there. Virgo. Okay.
So Virgo rising, you're gonna have this retrograde energy in your 6th house, which is the house of day-to-day routine, work, also your health. And I have this energy in my 6th house right now too, so I really feel it. It's been a pain because this Saturn is asking you to find solutions in your day-to-day environment, day-to-day work. So some stuff might be not functioning right, maybe with your work tools, maybe with your work routine. And Mercury retrograde here is going to cast a light on those problems, ask you to fix them. Also, Saturn is asking you to work maybe 3 times harder in your day-to-day. So yeah, I know, I've been there. So yeah, work hard on a daily basis, but at the same time, you need to reassess. So you have to do your to-do list, but at the same time, you have to change some stuff because some stuff are not working as efficiently as it should be. So it's like put some energy here, but also put some energy reassessing everything. So your work tools, your work strategies are going to have to be reevaluated. Also, you're going to have to find some time to save time because Saturn, as I said, is the planet ruling time and it's in your 6th house. So how can you find more time to do all that you have to do in your day-to-day routine? Also, this Saturn is asking you to be more disciplined with your health. And also with the Mercury retrograde here, it's a good time to really learn about how to be more healthy with your diet, with your exercise, with the way you sleep, you drink. So it's going to be a good time to research those topics. And once Mercury goes direct again, to implement those new routines in your health.
Wow. Okay. Dawn says, oh my God, I'm a Leo. And that's exactly what's happening. Well, okay. So she's probably watching just a little bit behind there because everybody doesn't start the video at the same time. But Dawn, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And let's go back to you, Sophie, for Virgo.
Yeah. Okay. I have pause and I have the strength. So yes, just to take a pause, to get your strength back, it is good time to reassess everything in your routine. So exactly what you just said.
But what is hard, I find, being having this energy in my 6th house myself, is that you can't really pause, but at the same time, you need to pause, you know? So you have this strength, this big energy going in your work day-to-day life. You have all these stuff to do, this to-do list, but at the same time, you need to find time to get out of the treadmill and relax and also reevaluate everything. Right?
Oh, I love this one. Visionary Endeavors says, a retrograde is like a bucking bronco. Hang on. And hold on. Yeah, hang on for dear life. I love that. Okay, that's a good one. And yes, I agree with you, Julie, too, because man, it very much feels like we're at war for humanity. And this is not the part of this show here, but still, you want us to take a pause during a war. It's hard to figure that out right now. But I understand that spiritually, emotionally, energetically, it's going to do us good to take maybe take a step back here. And this is what universe is asking of us. So
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
But with the Saturn there conjuncting this Mercury, it's like you can't really take a pause at 100%. It's like still asking you to work 3 times harder, but at the same time reevaluate everything. So it's kind of a tricky energy.
Tricky energy. Okay, there's a bunch of people in the chat asking where they can find Cliff, so they might be new to all of this. Let me just bring the link down. It's at bitchute.com/Cliff_high, and I just linked that last video if you guys want to go check that out. It's absolutely fascinating. It talked about mind control and some of these other races that are on the planet who have long skulls and perhaps are using mind control against us. So really, really fascinating video. Perhaps for another time for the Divine Feminine Oracles here. Okay, Julie, let's get back to the deck here. What do we have next?
So we have your rising sign, JC, Libra.
Okay.
Libra rising, or also Libra sun. So this falls in your 5th house, but for you, JC, it's the 4th house. So you can listen to the next one.
Okay.
So for Libra risings, it's going to fall in your 5th house. So 5th house is the house of fun, usually. It's the house of romance. It's the house of hobbies, also artistic projects, artistic endeavors. Also, if you have your own business, it's going to fall in your 5th house. So with Mercury retrograde in your 5th house, it's going to ask you to rethink the way you have fun, maybe also rethink the way you see romance, maybe find new hobbies, because maybe some hobbies that you like to do, you cannot do them anymore, or you have to find a different way to go about them. Saturn in the 5th house is not the most pleasant energy because it kind of drains the fun out of a house. So it drains the fun out of the 5th house, which is a house of fun. So it's more like you're being more serious when Saturn transits your 5th house. So you're being asked to maybe sometimes turn a hobby into a work. So that could be one reason for Saturn being in your 5th house. Also, if you have a artistic project, with Saturn there, it's going to ask you to really put the discipline, put the work. So it's going to be harder, but at the same time, it's going to, at the end, it's going to deliver a good result. It's just going to ask you to work even harder. So maybe find other hobbies, other ways to express yourself, because it's the house of self-expression. Also, if it's your own business, it's going to ask you to find new strategies to get around obstacles in your business, because Saturn rules obstacles. So maybe you're going to have a bunch of little problems to fix, and you're going to have to find out-of-the-box solutions with this Mercury retrograde in your 5th house.
Okay, very good. And Sophie?
So you said house 5, but it's also the kids, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay,
I forgot about the kids. So yeah, if you have kids, then you have lots of responsibilities with your kids. So you're gonna have to find the time to relax, maybe to try to avoid all the problems. Maybe find new solutions. Maybe be okay with the fact that life is not going to be as busy as you would want it to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we have the guardian angel, the support and the help. And here we have the Knight of Wands. So it looks like you're going to need some help. It looks like you're going to ask some help to be able to keep going. So I don't know if you see that in the astrology, but the cards are telling that if you can, for you guys, it is really important that you do, because the strength is next. So if you ask for help and you get help, because with the cards, it says that most of you will get help and you will get back your strength.
Good point.
Very good.
I like that.
Okay. Julie, anything else to add? You want to move to the next sign?
Let's move to the next one. It's
Okay.
Scorpio. So Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun. So for you Scorpios, the retrograde energy is going to fall in your 4th house. So 4th house is the house of property, of home, of family, of your core values also. So having Saturn and Mercury retrograde in your 4th house means cleaning the house, getting rid of the stuff that you don't need anymore is a really good thing to do, because you're going to make space for the new things, that the new energy also that might want to come after these retrogrades. So it's a good time to really
Decluttered.
sorry?
Decluttered.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Declutter.
Declutter. Declutter. Yeah, it's a very good energy for that. So make space for the new energies. Also, if you work from home, it's going to be a really good time to rearrange your stuff to be more comfortable in your day-to-day work area, because Saturn talks about work, and you have it in your 4th house, the house of home. Also, it's a good time to reassess your core values, because Saturn talks about more of the old, and it's making a square with Uranus, which is more the new. So it's kind of a battle between the new and the old. So that's why I was saying that it's a good time to do a cleanup, either physically of your stuff in your home, also of your values. So what is going to be there moving forward? What do you want your life to be based on according to your values and your priorities?
Okay, very good. And so if I understood you correctly, I'm supposed to listen to this one more particularly? Okay. Yeah, this is making more sense than the last one. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, very good. And Sophie, any advice for me? for the Scorpios right now?
Okay, so I have
Elena says it's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, Elena,
good job.
Yeah.
So I have tribe, so that means basically the home. So it is important that at home you create something that resembles what you want. So if you're not doing so already, I will suggest to do feng shui in your house. So you are mindful about everything you put inside your home, and you remove the old, and not only the old object, but you remove the old energy that you don't want to keep in your house, because you are manifesting with everything you put in your house.
Wow. That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really good. Bright Can News says, yeah, we can declutter Mr. Legault out of Quebec. Okay. Yeah. Cool. A little bit political, but sure. I get you. Okay. Anything else you wanted to add on that one, Julie, before we move to the next slide? Go ahead.
Let's move to Sagittarius.
Okay. Add the stream. Okay. There you go.
So Sagittarius rising or a Sagittarius sun, the retrograde is going to be in your 3rd house, which is the house of communication also. So a really good time to reevaluate all your communication projects, all your marketing projects also, if you have your own business or if you work in social media, marketing, communications. It's going to be a really good time to reassess your strategies, maybe find new techniques, new plans, maybe also use new tools, because Mercury talks about tools and technologies, and also Aquarius is new technology. So maybe it's going to ask you to think out of the box. So time to find new ways to do business, also do trade. Also, it's going to be a good time to reinvent yourself. If the products that you're selling is yourself, it's going to be a really good time to find new strategies how to sell yourself.
Okay, very good. And Sophie. Julie, is that the last sign?
Nope.
No, there's more. Okay, we're gonna be running a little bit long here. We need to take questions from the audience. Okay, go ahead, Sophie. You're on the screen.
Okay, so I have new information, clarity, and new ideas. So, as we talked about, this is more something you need to think about right now. Yes. Okay. So yes. So many ideas, many suggestions will come into your head during this period. You need to evaluate each of them, but don't take any decision, as we said earlier, during retrograde, because your mind won't be clear. But some new ideas will come right after this period. So right now, what you need to do is be open to everything, and you can look, and then as soon as it's finished, you will be able to have a clear idea of something new, fresh, that you want to start.
Okay, very
Maybe
good. I saw a comment in the chat earlier. Somebody said, "Oh my God, can we just bottle that accent in a can or something?" Like they love our accent. So, okay, il y a un franco-ontarien puis deux québécoises à l'écran. Thank you so much, whoever said that. I love that. Okay,
and
Julie,
plus
did
it's
you want to add
Mercury
anything to that?
retrograde. All my English words are like, it's hard. It's hard.
Well, you and I just did this French show on
Yeah.
Tuesday night, and man, I felt like I was having trouble finding my words more than usual. Let me see if I can bring that up for the
Well,
audience.
me
If you
too.
haven't
When I'm
already
French,
see it,
so can you imagine?
yeah. So that was Odyssée Galactique, l'éveil collectif on Tuesday night. So go check it out if you haven't seen it. If you speak French, really a beautiful episode. I was being a little bit hard on myself, but I went back and rewatched. I'm like, oh, actually, it made a lot of sense. So,
You did
anyways, thank you everyone for that. I appreciate all the love in the chat. You guys are amazing. Okay, Julie, next one.
Capricorn. So Capricorn rising or Capricorn sun, it's going to be in your second house, which is the house of investment, of finances. So it's a good time to rethink your investments, whether it be energy, money, also your time investment, because we said Saturn is the planet ruling time. So really important how you invest your money, your energy, and your time. Also, what did I have? Time to learn, also investigate on new ways to invest. And for you, it's going to be very important maybe to look into crypto, because you have Aquarius in your second house, and cryptos are ruled by Uranus, the planet of Aquarius. So really a good time maybe to document yourself on cryptos, learn about it. So this retrograde is going to be a good time to really look of new ways to invest.
Okay, very good. How about you, Sophie?
Okay. Yes, I have fidelity and expectation. So with the tarot card, I have the Emperor. So investment. So yes, fidelity for me means with the Emperor in that area, it means that you should stick with something and then go all the way in that investment. So for me, you're going to learn a good way to invest your time, your money, or anything you need to, your resources, basically, and you will stick with it for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, Saturn is the planet of long time, so you're trying to base all your actions for the long run.
And Capricorn too.
True. Very
true. Oh, wow. Okay.
point.
It all lines up. Ocean Odell, JC, you did fantastic. They're talking about the French show here. Smiling Eyes says, accents are awesome and sexy. I agree. Very good. Thank you so much. Elisa says, JC, you can talk in French gibberish and it would sound beautiful. Okay. I'll take that as a compliment, I think. Benoit Gasselin, no worries, JC. Julie made you look good in that episode. Of course she does.
Thank you, Benoit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good episode in French. Okay, we can have fun and laugh about ourselves and our accents. Absolutely. Okay, Julie, next sign for the audience.
So next one is going to be Aquarius rising or Aquarius sun. So this energy falls in your first house because this retrograde is in your sign. So it's a really good time for you guys to reassess your thought process, because Mercury rules those things, your thoughts, your thought process, also your self-value. With Saturn in your first house, it might be a little bit more difficult for you to know the extent of your self-value, but it's going to be a really good time to really think about what goes on in your head on a daily basis. Are you talking to yourself with nice words? Are you talking to yourself with harsh words? So it's going to be very important to really find your self-value back and really get your mental process in line with that value that you want to give yourself. Also, rethink your identity is going to be very important. Who you think you are, maybe it's going to change in that little Mercury retrograde process. And also, is your work aligned with your new self? Because Saturn talks about work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Okay, very good. And just for the last sign before I go to you, Sophie, Darla saying, wow, I just bought some crypto, Capricorn here. And somebody else too, Angela, thanks. I'm a Cap Rising and just dipped my toe into the crypto thanks to JC's and JSNIP's crash course on crypto. So thank you for that, Angela. I really appreciate that. Okay, and so Sophie, back to you on Aquarius.
Give me just a moment because I have my cat screaming next to me.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I was wondering where that cat was coming from. I thought maybe it was another window. I'm like, where the hell is the cat coming from? Okay, it's yours. Okay. I thought maybe it was Janine's cat. I'm like, why is Janine's cat in the video? Okay. Very good.
So, okay. I have here gossip and outside influence, and I have here the hangman. So for this particular sign, the Aquarius, for me, it sounds like this person, you need to really stop thinking about what the others are thinking about you or saying about you, and just focusing on your voice inside of you. Just focusing meditations, it could be really good for you on your thought process, because it is not something that you act on it. It is a passive energy. So it is your thoughts, it is your process. So you need to really be mindful of that and to cut the cord with the outside influence.
Okay, that's really good advice. Okay, and Yolanda on the screen, she just said, hey, I just ordered my chart. So let me bring that up for you who are just joining us now. You can get your personalized birth chart to follow along with us in these episodes, as well as the Astro Woo Finance. You can do so at maisonjupiter.com, and don't forget to use the coupon code here, BeyondMystic, one word in high caps, and that will give you an extra 10% off. And for those Capricorns who are looking to invest also, perhaps check out this episode here, Astro Woo Finance. Save 33 is the coupon code for that one that is valid right now. Okay, let's go back to Julie for the, I believe, the second sign. Where are we?
Yes, this is the last one now. This is Pisces. So Pisces rising or Pisces sun. So this means that this retrograde energy falls in your 12th house. Sorry. So 12th house. So 12th house has to do with karma, and so does the planet Saturn. So when it's all in your 12th house, it might say that some old karma from the past is going to come back in order to heal and in order to dissolve. So at this time, you might have old relationships, old karma, old situations, old issues, old thoughts that are going to be coming back up. So it's all in order to heal and dissolve, usually. Also, it would be a good time to have a dream journal, because all sorts of messages are going to be willing to come up through your unconscious, through your dreams. This is the house of the 12th house. Also, it's going to be a good time to rethink how much you rest, how much you regenerate, because it's the 12th house. Also, it's the rest. So with Saturn there, it's a good time to really try to relax, take a step back from work, because Saturn talks about work, but here you have your 12th house. So really focus on healing and focus on resting.
Okay, very good. And how about you, Sophie?
Reinvention and the Two of Wands. So with that, I think it is a time, like you said, to maybe to rethink, of course, but I think it is the end of a big karma wheel. So for you, it is a time when you can say, okay, it is done. So the next thing that will happen for me will become something completely new. So I need to change my energy. I need to clear some things up. So my subconscious, I need to reevaluate everything in my life, like subconscious, my dreams, my yes. So basically your thought process and your subconscious. This is a big thing to do, because you want to make sure that it is purged for the next step in your life, because it will be completely new for you.
Okay. Very good. And for all of you, I saw people saying, hey, I bought silver. If you're looking for silver, please check out beyondmystic.net/silver. These are the coupons afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience by Andy Sheckman at Miles Franklin. And this week we have the Silver Buffalo Rounds at $2.99 over spot. That's for our American friends. And if you're in Canada, we have a brand new affiliate program here at mfbullion.ca. So let me bring that link down to the chat as well. And there, when you check out, make sure to click on the I heard it from Beyond Mystic. There's a little drop down box at the checkout screen here to make sure that you get the best possible price for you guys. Okay, we're going into the question period. How do you want to set this up again here, Julie? So which sign do they need to give us first and second here in order to get this done properly?
Well, your rising sign, and if you want, you can also give your sun sign.
Okay, so let's start with
your question.
Or generally speaking, I get if okay, because there's already people who brought it in, so we'll talk about the retrograde itself, how it's going to affect them and maybe their personal life. But we'll do a general question because here, first question. Thank you so much for Laura Kays. She says she's a Leo rising and an Aries sun. What can I expect? Please. Tell me lots of wealth. Okay. So she wants to know what she can expect on the financial side of things. So I'm going to start with Sophie while Julie brings up the chart on that. So Sophie, for Laura Kays here, what can she expect on the financial side?
Okay. Those are really good cards. So I have Bound, which is the energy of the devil. And I will tell you that it will be good with the other cards. Don't worry about it. I have the Six of Swords, and then I have the World. So for you, I see that your situation with the money will change. Right now, I see you too much linked to something, too much dependent on something, and this is about to change. This is about to change for good. So for example, if you're about to leave your current job, to change your job to something you will do on your own, to be your own boss, this is looking fantastically good for this. Calm water and success. So for wealth, really good.
Wow. Okay. Very good. And Julie.
Yeah, on my side, I see that you have Jupiter that just entered your 8th house here. So 8th house talks about mutual finances, also that the money that is coming towards you. So Jupiter is the planet of luck, financial luck. So you can have a surprise amount of money that come your way. So that's the good part about Jupiter in your 8th house. Also, everything that is put together with a partner. So money that's investing together with a partner. So if you buy a house, let's say, or you do a big purchase with someone, it's going to be a really good time for you with Jupiter in your 8th house to get even more value out of this money.
Okay, very good. I want to read this comment too. Lois, yes, she says, yes, Royal Bank here in Canada wouldn't let me buy silver from Miles Franklin in the US, but she was able to buy through our Canadian affiliate. So that might be some issue with some of you guys too. There is a lot of issues with our banking system trying to close the gates so you can't get your money out, whether that's for crypto or silver. So be advised. But thank you, Lois. I appreciate that. So for the rest of you who might be having trouble here in Canada getting a hold of Miles Franklin, you could do so now through mfbullion.ca. Let me bring that one back on the screen here as well. Okay, so let's go to our next question. I think, can you read this? Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Leo, Rising, Sagittarius. What does that mean? Do you understand?
Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Leo. Okay.
So she's Leo rising and Sun Sagittarius. No?
No, I think it's the opposite. Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Leo, Rising, Sagittarius. Is that it? Okay, I think she's a rising.
So she's a rising Sagittarius and Sun Sagittarius.
That's what I understand. So
okay, we'll go with that one, Teresa. It's a little complicated. Let's start with Sophie first. Did she have a question? Sorry, forgot. What? Hold on. What you needed? I feel a huge change for what I'm to do. Okay. What can you tell her about big changes upcoming for Teresa?
Okay.
Sophie. Let's start with Sophie.
Okay, so you need to take charge about a situation in your life at this present moment. I have here control, and I won't say those words because I think I'm not supposed to. But yeah, we all know the situation in the world. So it says that you should take charge of your own life starting now. So don't expect things to get in your favor right away. You need to start even though the situation is what it is right now. Then you need to release and to do your own way the next step. So with that, for me, huge change, of course, but in a way that you don't stick with the old and you go forward what is really for you, what is really meant for you, and it is happiness.
Okay. Very good. Wow, that's very direct. Okay, let's see what the astrological alignments say for Teresa.
So I'm going to go with the retrograde because we talked about this a lot. So it's going to be in your third house with Saturn there. So it means that you have to really rethink the way you're communicating with other people. Also, if you work with social media, marketing, trade, business in general, so you're going to have to find new solutions, how to work on a daily basis on how you communicate. Also, it's a good time to learn new skills because Mercury is going to be in your third house, which is the house of skills too. And while Mercury is retrograde, it's a good time to reassess old skills that you wanted to learn but did not have the time to. So it's going to be a really good time to re-strategize the way you do your daily business. And also you had the Pluto-Venus conjunction in your second house, which is the house of money, revenue, investments. So it means that you have quite a lot of changes in that department. So the third conjunction between those planets will be on March 3rd. So maybe you're going to have more answers as it pertains to what are you going to do exactly to get this new stream of money. But until then, it's going to be a good time to rethink everything with your third house.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Michelle Murphy says, thanks, JC. I just bought more silver from Miles Franklin and love these beautiful, awesome ladies, soul sisters. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. And folks, I did put the links in the live chat here too. And I realized we talked about a lot of different links here tonight and coupon codes. So as soon as we're done the live, I'll put them in the comment section below and pin them to the tops if you're looking for all of these links. But for now, the silver is beyondmystic.net/silver. Okay, let's go to the next question here, and it's from Nadine Maurice. Let me see if I can bring that one up at the stream. Nadine, Scorpio, then Capricorn. So Scorpio ascending and Capricorn sun. She doesn't have a question here, so let's just pull some general cards, and let's start with Sophie here.
So you think Nadine. Scorpio is the rising sign?
That's what we asked. Rising first, okay. And then no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It could be either or. So let's go for Scorpio rising.
Okay. All right. You know, as we do more and more of these episodes, the audience will get used to giving us the right signs in the right orders with a small question so that we can bring it up on the screen for you guys. Okay, so Sophie, pour Nadine Maurice. What can the cards tell her?
Okay, so for you, I have pause again. So this is the sponsor card of this
evening. Yeah.
And I have here the Four of Cups, and I have the Hierophant. So for you, I think as soon as you allow yourself to take a pause during this retrograde, you will find this perfect opportunity showing your way, and you will be ready to take it as soon as this clears up. So if it is related, it could be related to family, I have to say, because you have the card tribe. So this perfect opportunity can be anything related to family, but it is a good thing, and you have protection card with it. So think about it during retrograde, and as soon as it's direct, take it.
Okay. Hey, that's good advice. Okay, Sophie, what do you have here for Nadine? Let me bring up your screen here. There you go.
Julie. Yes.
Julie, yes. It's a retrograde. Come on.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it. Yeah, the retrograde energies is in your fourth house. So Sophie talked about your family, your house. So it's going to be the main focus for the next 3 weeks for you. So it's going to be house related stuff, family related stuff. So your energy is going to be asked to be at home, maybe decluttering, maybe reassessing your house, the way you make it your own in a space wise. So maybe doing a little feng shui to really reappropriate your house, the energy of the house. Probably some little issues with family and stuff, that your energy is going to be there anyways, so you're going to have to find solutions. So Mercury is the planet of solutions, and while you look for a solution, think out of the box, think new tools, new strategies, because there's a square with Uranus, and Uranus talks about new strategies, so new way to do things, new way to do relationships.
Okay. Very good. Where do I go next? Oh, I have an amazing comment from the Discord channels. Let me see if I can cut and paste that back into the live chat for you guys. Laura B. Let me see. Did that work? Hold on. Pause. Yes. So she says, thank you for all of this amazing. I truly love my reading with Sophie. She's amazing. And yes, I know other words other than amazing. Okay. Just said one. Thank you so much. Laura B from the Insider Access Pass Discord channel. I love you guys too. Okay. If you guys are there and I see some questions, I'll get back to that in a second here for the Discord group. I had another question on the screen from the PayPal tip jar. Tanya, let me see. Thank you, Julie, Sophie, beautiful souls. Okay, rising sign is Leo and sun sign Taurus. Okay. And her question is, will I be meeting my divine partner soon? So let's start with Sophie. Will Tanya be meeting her divine partner soon?
Okay.
And for Julie, rising sign is Leo and the sun sign is Taurus for Tanya.
Okay, so I have the card Understanding, and I have the card to take a risk. So just a minute, I'm going to take some which card. Okay, Queen of Swords and Three of Swords. You need to understand first from the last relationship what you can take from the last relationship. It is a time to rethink about the past, and unfortunately, it means that you need to take a moment again to just soak in the information of what you learn and what you want in a partner next. After this, when it's direct, you can take a risk and have faith. This divine partner will show up, but only when you will know what you want in life and what you want as a partnership.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's very good. And Julie, let me see if I can bring up the chart back up for Tanya.
That makes a lot of sense what Sophie you just said, because you have Saturn and the Mercury retrograde in your 7th house, which is the house of partnerships. So it's a good time, as she said, to really think about what you want moving forward in a partner, what you're looking for, what didn't work in the previous partnerships. So this is really the energy of Mercury retrograde. And also Saturn is good and bad in the 7th house. It could be bad in a way as it makes you try and try again. So you might meet a lot of people that are not the right people for you, but are just to give you some example of the qualities you should look for in a partner. So Saturn asks you to put like the discipline and the work in order to find the good person for you. But the good aspect of having Saturn in your 7th house is that once you find someone that has those qualities that you want, that you're looking for, it's going to be a very long-term partnership. So having Saturn in the 7th house can be a really good thing for a lifelong partner. So of course, you're gonna have to wait until Mercury is direct, so beginning of February, in Venus direct too. So it's gonna be a lot easier for you to be able to meet some new people. And also you have Jupiter in your 8th house, which is the house of like merging together with a soulmate, with someone that's really aligned with you here. So there's a really good possibility to find someone that's very attractive to you physically and also on a spiritual level, energy level, which is the
more aligned.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's encouraging for Tanya. Very good news. Okay. Couple of great man, you guys are getting a lot of love in the chat. So Lakeside Laura, I love how Sophie is very direct in her explanation and very succinct. Yes,
Mars
absolutely.
in the first house, eh, Sophie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did we go through the testimonials earlier tonight? Let's take two
No.
testimonials here. Let me bring this one up. Okay, who wants to read this? Sophie or Julie? Who wants to read this one?
Julie.
Ah, okay. So Loretta said, "Dearest Sophie, I cannot thank you enough for such a wonderful tarot reading. What a blessing you are. You are also a kick-ass, scary, accurate." Oh yeah, she is. Wow, I will definitely refer people to you. Thank you,
Thank
Loretta.
Okay, very good. And let me bring up the second one I have from Denise. Julie.
So Denise said, "Thank you, Sophie. Thank you to Sophie. I connected with her beautiful light and funny personality right away. I loved my messages, and I am so excited about moving forward. I am so super excited. So thank you,
Wow.
Denise."
A lot of beautiful positivity there. A big
Yeah.
testament to you, Sophie, and how you conduct yourself during these readings. I keep getting emails from our customers saying, "Wow, JC, yes, please bring them back on the show." So there you go, folks. Okay, let me bring up the next question here from the Insider Access Pass. It's from Trigel, I guess. So the rising is Capricorn and sun is Cancer. They want to know if they can start a horticultural and growing business to include their family and children. Is that going to happen? Alors, let's start with Sophie on that one.
Okay. Oh, yes. I have nostalgia of the old world. So for me, gardening, it is inside of that, and material world that it means for me bringing something to the 3D, to your new reality. And I have here trying something new. So for me, this is a new project that has way more possibilities that I think you imagine at this current time. You need to go slow in this because you need to involve the kids from the beginning. So go slow with them, but they're going to love it, and you're going also to love it.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. That makes sense also if you go watch the December episode that Julie and Janine and I produced for 2022. Like the energies are very much promoting that as well. Okay. Julie, what about the charts here for Trigel?
Yeah. So when we talk about having a new business, we look for the 5th house, which is here. So you have Uranus in the 5th house, which means it can be good and bad. It's super good for all new stuff. So especially using new technologies. So if you're thinking about using maybe internet in a new way to promote your business, or new technologies to help with your gardening, it's going to be really good. But the thing is, we have a square for everybody, but it's in your 5th and 2nd house with Saturn in the beginning of the year. So there's going to be a lot of obstacles for that. So I would say this is going to be super good for this year, but especially during the spring. So now would be a good time to plan for it. Think about how you're going to invest your time, energy, resources, which is 2nd house. Plan for it while Mercury is retrograde, but do not act on it right away. I would say wait for maybe the spring, because Uranus is going to be in a way more powerful position here in your 5th house.
Okay, that's very good. Let me take this comment, sorry, from the chat. Smiling eyes, JC, Sophie, and Julie communicate very well together, each complementing each other. Oh, thank you so much.
That's
Appreciate
nice.
that. And Gypsy Mama, I believe we just did a reading for her. She says, "Oh, thank you, Sophie and Julie. I have been really focusing on the qualities and what I want in a divine partner." So there you go. Oh yes, Tanya. Okay, Tanya is Gypsy Mama. Okay, I'll try to remember for next time. Thank you so much. Okay. I think last question, maybe we'll see. Easy. Rising Virgo and Sun Aries. I'll bring that in the chat for you here, Julie, so you can see that. So, Sophie, what can you tell Easy here? He or she said, anything I should know.
Okay. Okay, so an offer is going to show up. So basically, something related to work is going to show up. I have here the offer. So for me, this is really good energy, but we are in retrograde, so we have the observer card. Don't act on it right away. Ask questions about it. It is the time that things can be foggy. So what you need to do just to make sure this is good, if you need to take the contract right away, for example, the job right away, you need to ask a lot of questions. So you're not surprised by the nature of it. It is something that will make you really happy, but it is okay also to grieve the fact that you are not where you were before that. So it is fine to grieve what you were not, what you're not doing anymore, but you're going to love what you will do.
Okay. Wow. Very good. And Julie, what does the chart say?
So I have a good news for you. Jupiter is entering, as we speak, your seventh house, which is the house of partnerships. So when you had that card offer, Sophie, I was thinking about it could be a partnership, a business partnership. So it could be a business partner, but also a romantic partner entering your life. So that's very good. Jupiter brings good fortune, good luck. Also, if you're a woman, it could be a husband or also a teacher or a good business partner. So that's really, really good. And with the card too, I thought about that. So.
Okay, very good. And the previous questioner, Trigel, says, from the depths of my soul, I'm so happy now. Okay, thank you to Julie. That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, one last question. What do you think? How's your energy? Can we do one more?
Sure, let's do one more.
Sophie, okay, you feel good? Okay, let me bring this one up here in the PayPal tip jar at the screen. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in. Aaron, okay, oh, can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so Rising Gemini and Sun Virgo for Julie. I need to get a surgery done. Will it happen this year? And will my health come back? Aaron?
I need to get a surgery done. Okay.
So Rising is Gemini and Sun is Virgo for Aaron. Sophie, what can you tell Aaron?
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Okay, so you have surgery card here. So what it does tell me is that they will know a lot more when they are going to do this intervention. So right now, I don't know if they have every information that they need to at this time. You can expect that you will have some work to do just to regain your mobility afterwards, and you will need to take care of you a lot. So if you're not comfortable doing this, I think you should get comfortable now to do it. Yes, I think your health will be very good after, because it says it is currently a risk to do it, but have faith. Have faith it will work.
Okay. Wow, that's great advice. Easy, the last questioner says, awesome. Thank you so much, ladies, and JC, of course. Okay, thank you, Easy. Appreciate that. Julie, what does the chart have in store for Aaron Dilbeck and the surgery?
So the house of surgery is the 8th house. So we have the sun currently transiting your 8th house. Also, we have Pluto and Venus that just made 2 conjunctions in December in your 8th house, the house of surgery. So there's a lot of action in that house for you, but it's also the house of deep transformation. So physical transformation, but also psychological transformation. Also, your level of energy is going to be revived after that. So the 3rd conjunction that we have between Venus and Pluto is going to be on March 3rd. So I think now is a good time to really focus on your regeneration, as Sophie was saying. So your focus while the sun is transiting your 8th house is going to be on that, and it's amazing as it is. But I feel like you're going to see a whole new level of vitality and energy after the 3rd conjunction between Venus and Pluto. So after March 3rd, you're going to see even more energy.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's encouraging for Aaron. Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate that. Okay, so we're at the hour and a half here. I don't want to abuse of the energy of the amazing divine feminine oracles on my show, so I think we should start rounding it out. Let me start by asking Sophie, and maybe Julie, you can also bring up a chart or any other personal insights on this. What can we give for the audience, Sophie, if you want to do a general reading here, maybe for the last 2 weeks of January? What do they know, specifically the people watching this show right now? What can you tell them?
Okay. I have all those cards, and it's the same tonight. It is pause.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we got the message.
I think we got the message. Yes.
The sponsor of tonight's show is pause.
It is pause to start fresh and to open our eyes to what we need to change when this goes direct. If I can just say one thing before we go, I would love to say that I have fell in love with people watching this channel since the last show, because I have the chance of meeting you one-on-one, and you have such amazing energy, high vibration, and the time you take to send me lovely message after the meeting is really appreciated. And I would like to say that I'm already in love with you guys.
Okay, now you're gonna make everyone blush, but yes, thank you for that, Sophie, and I agree. We have the best audience here on Beyond Mystic, and that's a testimony to all of you guys in the live chat now. So a big thank you to all of you in the chat who are treating both Julie and Sophie with such love and respect. I really appreciate that. Okay, Julie, anything else also from the charts, or just personal insights that you'd like to share with the audience also in terms of words of wisdom here for the next 2 weeks of January?
Well, I'm gonna hop on Sophie's bandwagon with the pause thing, and sometimes we in this busy lives we're living, sometimes we don't want to pause. We don't want to take some time to reassess our lives, reassess our things. But it's like the Mercury retrograde is like a slingshot energy. It's like the further you pull back, it's gonna allow you to go even further once the planet goes direct. So it's a good time to really go back, but then it's gonna ask you to it's gonna get you even more further along the way. So
wow. Okay. Well, there you go. You heard it here first, guys. Tough couple of weeks ahead for sure, but you have all the advice and all the knowledge with which to tackle these times. And a big thank you to both Sophie and Julie. And folks, if you want to book a personal reading with Sophie, you can do so now here. Let me bring that back up on the screen at MAISONJupiter.com. The 30 minutes are still sold out, but how's your schedule looking for the end of January and into February here? Sophie?
I think it's almost full for this month. It will have to go to next month. We're going to see where it takes us, but I think I have about 2 or 3 places left for this month.
Okay, so go quick if you guys need a quick reading. Hurry up and go to MAISONJupiter.com and you're looking for the consultation page. And Julie, how's it coming up here with the personalized birth charts? I know you've been extremely busy here producing these, and you've had to adjust a little bit here your production time because of huge demand. What can you say to the audience here so they know what to expect when they book this? And why also is it important for them to know these information as they continue to follow us along in these different series that we're producing?
Well, it's always good to know where the energies are falling in your own birth chart, in your personalized birth chart. So that's what I'm doing here with Maison Jupiter. So you choose the color that you want your birth chart to be printed in. So it's a digital product. So it's about 1 or 2 weeks, and right now I'm still in the delays. So and I'm making them one by one. So thank you for all your patience. And I'm doing a lot of birth charts in a day, but loving it. So thank you for your orders, and thank you for your patience, everybody.
Very good. And so, folks, again, 10% discount code here to you, the audience, the beautiful audience. The coupon code is BeyondMystic and high caps, one word. And of course, that will give you a 10% off. And for you Americans, this comes out to pretty cheap. By the time you apply the coupon code and the conversion with your US dollar, you're at 130, 140 for this amazing reading with Sophie. And you know that most of the psychics on our shows charge anywhere from $200 to $400 for their booking. So really, really advantageous here if you want to check it out with Sophie. So that's MaisonJupiter.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe at Maison Jupiter here on YouTube, and also on my channel here at Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic 3. We're at 58,000 and strong, recapturing that community that was taken away twice already. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I love you guys. I'm taking a few days off, and I'll be back on Monday with Tarot by Janine at 8 o'clock Eastern. This was the Divine Feminine Oracles with the amazing Julie and Sophie. I love you guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Merci, Jean-Claude.